Kia ora everyone, my name is Bughuul and welcome in this new video. I'm super excited about this one because Duelling Coasters lay really close to my heart. I've made so many Duelling Coasters in Planet Coaster 1 and now we can finally make Duelling Coasters in Planet Coaster 2, so in this video I'm gonna show you and give you all the tips and tricks that you need to make interactive dueling roller coasters. I'm also going to show you all the different types and setups that you can do with stations to start your dueling coasters. And we'll be building one together, all from scratch. So stick around, and without further ado, let's jump in the video. Look, I'm so excited about this. I can't hold my excitement anymore. I just gotta wait a little bit longer. Before we start, let me explain to you the difference between two types of dueling coasters. The Mobius loop coaster and your regular dueling coaster. A Mobius coaster, as you can see here, is a dueling coaster using one station, but after it's done its first lap, it rotates back, lines up again with the second car, and then gets launched again, as you can see here. So all it is one coaster station that's dueling with itself. But as you sit in the car, you actually make two rounds. In this case, I painted the round 1 yellow and the second round red. So you can see yellow and red are dueling with each other. But in all reality, it's one station. So just one coaster with 3 cars. As you can see, the coaster train finishes the first laps, passes a block section, and then aligns perfectly with the coaster car that is already waiting there, and then they get launched. So yeah, that's a Mobius style coaster. While Mobius style coasters only have one station, dueling coasters have 2 stations. So this is just a normal 1v1 dueling coaster. Since Planet Coaster 2 didn't allow for ride synchronization until recently, I haven't made or had the chance to make dueling coasters in Planet Coaster 2. So here I'm showing just a couple of dueling coasters I've made in my career as a professional dueling coaster builder. Oh my god, Book! This is so talented! I can't believe it! And as you can see, they have 2 stations, not one like the Mobius style coaster. So this one is called H2O versus Fire. And this one is called Saruman versus Ents. My most famous creation. Very happy with this creation. And this section here took me about a day to make and has about 1,000 triggers. Oh my god, crazy book. But Planet Coaster 1 is a thing from the past and we can make synchronized coaster now. So let's jump in Planet Coaster 2 and I'll show you how to make dueling coasters. It does come at a cost though. You're gonna have to press this little button down there on the right bottom corner. Since we'll be focusing on dueling coasters and not Mobius coasters, I'm first gonna talk a little bit about coaster station setups. Exciting! Now that we know what dueling coasters are and what Mobius coasters are, I'm gonna have a little talk to you about what different types of coaster station setups you can do with dueling coasters. And as you can see, there's quite a lot, but hold on. We're gonna talk about all of them, if you're gonna stick around. The first thing that you need to know is making sure that your coasters are lined up and synced. If I'm starting one of the coasters here, as you can see, this one is going to leave, but the other one is being left behind on its own. Oh, that's sad. So, gotta have to make sure that they both leave at the exact same time. So you go to operations, you go to add ride sync, then you're gonna select the other coaster, and you press confirm. And now, if you go to operations, you can see that they're synced. There we go. They're all synced up. If I'm now pressing test mode, you can see that both coasters leave at the exact same time. And this coaster station setup, I call this the next to each other coaster station setup. Oh my god, Book, that's such a mouthful. I know, that's what she said. Anyway. The next coaster station setup is called the merging setup. And as you can see, we got 2 coaster stations and then we got their tracks merged so they're all both on the same track. But Book, this is not even realistic, what the hell? I know, this is not for your realism builders, but I still wanted to show it and see what it looks like because it comes with a little bit of trickery. Again, I've got them synced up and if I press test, You can see they test. And then you can see they both leave the station at the exact same time. But this one leaves the station at a higher speed than this one. Because if I have them both leave the station at the same speed, you're gonna see that they clash into each other when they merge. So with this setup, it is important that you have the coasters leave at a different time. This coaster leaves faster than this coaster. So you're gonna go to edit coaster. You're gonna go to edit mode, and when you click the station, you see that the exit speed here you can change. I put it on 14.4 kilometers an hour. When you look at this one, edit coaster, edit mode, it's on 7 kilometers an hour. So this train leaves at half the speed than this train does, and because of that, you can see that that one leaves slower. That they're not clashing here when they merge together on the track. So that's what kind of an essential step for you to do when you build the merging setup. Now the next one is the behind each other setup, and this is a Bughuul special. Again, they're all merged up, they're synced. I've got one coaster station installed right next to the other one, and they exit the station at the exact same time, following the exact same track. And you can do that by syncing them up, and then you press sync. And then you press test. And you can see they leave at the exact same time, and then they follow the exact same track. So yeah, that's the behind each other setup. But Book, please tell me there's more. Yes, I can assure you there's more. So let's have a look at a couple more. This is called the facing each other setup. You can see they leave the coaster stations at the exact same time, line up exactly next to each other, ready for a launch or ready for dueling action in all reality. So yeah, I call this the facing each other. But Book, there must be a phase 2 of it. There is. How can you read my mind? This is the facing each other version 2. When you press test, you see the coasters leave at the exact same time, which is really cool. However, you now have an issue, because you can see while this coaster is already here, if you draw a line here, this coaster is not lined up with this coaster. So even though they leave at the same time, this coaster had to travel a little bit extra than this coaster. So what you have to do is you can increase the leaving speed of the station or increase the speed of these drive tires here at the start until they're completely lined up perfectly at this point. That's one way to do it. And obviously you have to make sure that you can, when this coaster is finished, that you can attach the coaster back to the station, because currently it's gonna be quite tight. So you're gonna probably have to curve this around a little bit more. So that's the facing version 2. And then there is more. I call this the facing each other merge. Very cool again, but if I let both coasters leave at the exact same time at the exact same speed, you're gonna see that they clash into each other. So you have to make sure that you adjust one of the coasters a little bit so that it leaves the station a little bit faster than the other one. And that way you can merge them both on the same track while facing each other, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the facing each other merge. Again, have a play with the leave speed of the coaster station. That way you can make sure that they don't clash when they merge on the same track. But Book, please tell me there's one more. I'm desperate. There is. This is the facing merge. Right, with this one, you can... they're facing each other, but they're merging or crossing over. So the right coaster ends up on the left, and the left coaster ends up on the right. And again, you have to play around a little bit with speed so that make sure that they're not clashing when they leave at the exact same time. And obviously you're gonna have to play around a little bit with the coaster lined up. So play around a little bit with the speed of the drive tires and the speed of the exit station, exiting the station, to make sure that they line up perfectly. And it is with all these coasters, you can play around with either exit speed of the station or drive tire speed. Make sure that they lined up perfectly. So yeah, that's all the coaster station lineups that I can think of for making dueling coasters. If there's anything I've missed, let me know down below. I'm happy to know all the other things that I don't know. You can obviously put them on top of each other or behind each other in different curves. All sorts of possibilities, but they're all pretty much the same layout. But then different variants of it. So yeah, that's enough talking about coaster station setups, I think. I think we should go and have a crack at building a dueling coaster. And I'll give you some tips and tricks on what to pay attention to and how to make the ultimate dueling coasters. So yeah, let's dive into that. Alright, now that I've showed you the different types of coaster station setups, we're going to build a dueling coaster. And we're gonna build two large drive tire coasters, just so that it's a little bit easier for me to explain and give you all the tips and tricks. I'm gonna build two drive tire coasters, and now I want to show you this. We're gonna change the station on this button so that when they're facing each other, that they're exactly aligned, as you can see. Now, when you place down two coaster stations, if they're close together, you can see they clip into position. You see? Which is quite nice. They just clip into position. So, I'm gonna have it clip. And I'm using the advanced movement tool to just bring it slightly outwards. We're gonna accept this. And then we're gonna bring drive tires to the right side. And then straight. And then one straight. And we're gonna do the same to the right coaster. They are now perfectly aligned. Both tracks are the same length. Now obviously they're currently not synced, so we want to sync them as well. And you do that by clicking on the coaster, like I explained before. Go to operations, add ride sync, you select the other coaster, turn screen, and you press confirm. And now you can see when you go back to operations that you've got two coasters synced. Now, to make it easy for me to explain what I'm doing and to refer to each coaster differently, I'm gonna select one of the coasters and I'm going to give it a slightly different color. So in this case, I'm gonna turn it red. So now we have a red coaster and an orange coaster. Right, now that we've got the coasters synced up and lined up, we're gonna just give them a quick go. As you can see, they're perfectly lined up here. Now we're going to make sure that we're going to give them some launch and some speed so that we can actually make the coaster. So from here on we're going to build the launch section, and we're going to click on one of the coasters, edit coaster, and here we've got drive tire section, and make sure that your speed, the speed on the coaster left and the speed on the coaster right are the same. So I'm just going to put them both to max for max launch. We're going to make it go on a 15.4 degree angle. Place, and then so 4 pieces. They're gonna go launch slightly upwards. Same with this one. Launch section 15.4. There we go. Place, and then 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now we've got the launch section, and now we're just gonna test it and see if they are all synced up. And they should, because we've done the exact same thing left as we've done right. There we go! Perfect! Now we've got perfectly launched coasters. So yeah, now we should go and make the track. And as we build the track, I will give you tips and tricks along the way on how to make sure that these coasters are actually dueling each other, or versing each other, or battling together. That was quite cool. Fun. So yeah, let's do some building. Now, when we start building, it is important to keep in mind that obviously they're not going to be exactly the same track. So one coaster will always be a little faster than the other one because of the elements that you put into your coaster, but that's fine because you can adjust for that. My first tip will be start with one coaster and build element by element. So we're gonna, in this case, start with the orange coaster. We're gonna switch it to normal track, and I want there to be some kind of element. So let's speed it up a little bit and build the first element. Now that we built this element, we're going to edit the coaster and obviously make sure that it's all nice and smooth. The way that I smooth my coaster is I'm selecting 2 pieces and I just spam this smooth button. Now let's hop on the coaster and see what it looks like. It looks pretty cool, I have to say. And it should be pretty smooth. Yeah, I'm really happy with that element. Cool. Now that we've got the orange element, let's build the red element. Alright, as you can see, I've now finished both elements and we're gonna just make the coaster launch. You're going to see that the red one is quite a lot faster than the orange one. The red one is already approaching the end here, while the orange one is not even close. So, there's a way to fix that. We're going to just close them for a bit. And all we have to do is extend the length of the red coaster and reduce some of its speed. What we can do is, because it's wrapping underneath and there's quite a lot of room here, I'm going to just simply make this a little bit higher, something like that. And then make this a little bit higher. And then make this corner a little bit wider. Alright, there we have it. I think I've done it now. I'm just gonna select one of the coasters. I'm gonna hop into seat view and then change it to cinematic. And then we get to see. Here we can orbit and we can check that they're quite similar now, as you can see. Now I've paused the game here just to show you guys that I managed to align them up pretty well, and because the red one is on the outside, it's gonna make a bigger corner, so they end up right next to each other anyway. So there they go. So yeah, that's kind of one of the tips. If you're struggling with aligning your coasters, make sure, if for instance if the red one is in front of the orange one, make sure that you slow down the red one by generating more track. For instance, bigger corners, or slow it down at the top of a launch section, for instance. And if the orange and it also counts for the orange coaster. So yeah, now I'm gonna do a little bit of building, and if I've got some tips on the way, I'll obviously talk about them. I'm going to simply make the red coaster roll over the orange coaster. Alright, I finished the corkscrew. I finished I think it's called a corkscrew. I finished them wrapping around each other. So as you can see, I've got the red one going over first, and then the orange one peeking right over there as well. And then the orange one goes under the red one and comes out on the left side here, while the red one goes over and makes room for the orange one to come underneath, and then ends up on the left side, on the right side. So let's gonna go and check out what it looks like in orbit view, just so that we have a good idea on what the dueling looks like. And you get a pretty good idea of if you got some good dueling based on what this looks like. Got both coasters. Look at that. And they're almost synced as well. They almost end up here at the exact same time, which is really good. The red one, by the looks of it, is just a little bit faster. Let's check out the seat view. I think that looks really cool. You can see the orange one just right there. You can keep an eye on it too. We'll go and see the orange one coming up there. Then you got the orange one right there on the left side. I would love to see the POV from the orange side, because I think it looks really good. You get to see the red one just a little bit more. The red one right there. Yeah, this looks so cool. I'm very happy with the way this looks so far. So, I'm gonna do slightly a little bit of tweaking, just so that you can get a little bit of a better view from the red coaster on the orange coaster, because currently you can't see the orange coaster from the red coaster. So that means I'm gonna have to reduce the speed of the red coaster just a little bit so that you can see the orange coaster. So yeah, I'm gonna do slightly editing and then I'll see you later.
A few moments later.
Alright, I've done a little bit of tweaking. Now let's check out the red coaster again, because I think we will be able to see the orange coaster a lot better in the corkscrew after some adjustments. So let's check it out. I increased the height of this, and that way it takes a little bit more time. There's the orange. Look at that. That is so cool. Let's check the orange coaster now. Gonna speed it up. There's the red coaster. So now the orange coaster is slightly ahead. In this case, that is absolutely fine, because you have you've got good you can see the red coaster from the orange coaster while launch, and you see the orange coaster from the red coaster while you're corkscrewing around each other. So I'm really happy with the balance so far of the dueling coasters. As you can see here, it just looks really cool how they twist around each other. And if you look here, look how synchronized they are at the moment. That's very cool. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more building, and if I've got any tips in between, I'll share them with you. Alright, I've done a little bit of building, managed to create this monstrosity. So the orange coaster is just doing a looping, and the red coaster is looping over it. Not quite sure what element this is called. I'm not a coaster professional, but I think it looks really cool. They're wrapping around each other, which is pretty cool. Probably could adjust this coaster a little bit, bring it more inwards, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. So let's check out some of the dueling in orbit view again. And let's see what it looks like. Nice dueling here. Again, this wrapping around each other, I just find it really cool. Look at that. That is pretty gnarly. I have to increase the height of the red coaster a little bit because they're almost hitting each other, but... And even here, like, almost perfectly in sync. That's really cool. So yeah. So far so good. But I reckon I don't want to bore you guys too much longer. We're already on 25 minutes, so... I'm gonna finish the coasters now and show you the highlights of the building and all that sort of stuff. And then I'll see you in a bit and I'll show you the end result. Right? Janna Palman. Janna Palman. Jamman. Shuni Palman. Tina Sandman. Pigadon Sandman. Planet Coaster. Boogie Reggae. Janna Palman. Peter Sidman. Fugalika Batman. Peter Sambon. Peter San. Order Tungun. Chatabon. Turamban. Jan Bay Maori Bam Bam Sida Bahaba Dida Buddha Daba Habam Bam Bida Game Param Bam. Boogie is so weird, man. Yeah, man, he's weird. Skibadam Bam Shana Balman. For the ladies. It's so nice. Shake your buttocks. Boogie reggae is life, it's nice. Oh my god, look! Can I get your signature? No, you can't. But please, I'm collecting them. Shh, my part again. Yeah, man. It's Boogie Reggae's here, man. It's so nice, man. I'm building the coaster. It's stratosphere, man. You got no idea. I hurt my knee. It's insane because Boogie Reggae is so nice, man. Janna Palman, Skibadam on sit on for here, man. I'm here, man, editing the video. It's nice because ignite the fear, man. Don't know what I'm saying, but I look like on this one play, and then I sit here for my body for the chat about the old truck. Did I say about the bed? Yeah. For the ladies, shake the booties. It's a nice thing. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's nice, so please don't be so nice. I don't say, I don't say, won't sit up on and set on pay. Orange coaster is almost finished, yay. And I only have to make the one, yay. Janna Palman, coaster is almost finished, and I'm here, man, building the coaster up the golden brakes, and then the gold dose is not for not finished, yeah. This is the end, book. Reggae book, over and out. Book, that was crazy! Oh my god! What an entertainment! So sorry you had to witness that. But let's look at the end result of the coaster. Alright, I have finished the coaster. As you can see, I've got some more elements here, some overlapping, some twisties, some turnies. And obviously I had to bring the orange coaster to the other side because the coaster station was on the left. So I didn't really think about that, but that's why it got a little bit complex here. But I think I managed to get it to work quite nicely. I wish the red coaster had a little bit more room here, but because of the orange coaster wrapping through as well, I think it's just okay for what it is now. So I'm gonna show you the orbit view, and then you can see the dueling interactions happening between these two coasters. And I think it worked out really nicely. So we're just gonna check them out like this, and then we're gonna do the on-rides as well. So really nice interaction here, wrapping around each other, corkscrewing around each other. then we made a looping here, and then obviously the red coaster just wraps around it. Another wrap around. And then while the red coaster does a cobra roll, the orange one does a big half loop. There again, some interactions, and then they both make their own way. Yeah, I had to. I didn't really spend too much time on polishing the end, but in general, I'm very happy with the. Because I had just a green canvas, I could do whatever I want. But I just decided to do it this way, just for like ease of mind. I could honestly build whatever I want, but I didn't spend too much time on polishing the end, so that's why it's like a little bit flat and featureless. But that's quite alright. The rest is really awesome and it looks really cool. So I reckon we'll jump on the POVs now and see what that looks like. This is the one from the orange coast, and you can just see how you line up perfectly with the red one. It's just there. There's the red coaster. And I really want to, what I want in these type of coasters is that you can see the other coaster car from the other perspective from your train. So that's really cool. I saw the red coaster there again. And there. Barely missing each other and dueling nicely. And there's the red coaster again. And there was it. So there's lots of interactions happening between the two coasters, which is really cool. That's what I really like about dueling coasters, that you get to see the other coaster from the other car. Now let's jump on this one. I think this one has a little bit more interactions. Yeah, let's check it out. Oh, that's so cool. Cool perspective. This Cobra roll, it was like a place down piece, and I managed to make my own one, but my own features are much more smoother than the Cobra roll, which is from the game. That's alright. It's just for an example. For now, it's pretty good. Obviously, the brakes are not realistic at the entry. You could have spent a little bit more time on designing that, but because it's a tutorial on how to make it, I'm very happy with the end result. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly summarize the tips and tricks I gave in this video. So to sync coaster, you select the coaster, you go to operations, and under ride sync, select the other coaster and click OK. Then, when you're merging track, let's say your coaster stations are opposite each other and you want the tracks to merge, make sure you play around with the exit speed of the coaster station so that your roller coasters don't crash into each other. Make sure you use drive tires after the train station, after the coaster station, to allow you to play around with the speed and sync up your coaster cars at the start. When launching or using the chain lift, make sure you use both coasters and they have the same speed settings. Then, as you start, build one coaster and build them element by element. So build an element for one coaster first and then the other one. Then smoothing, select two pieces and spam the smooth button. And when you sync trains, extend the track of the faster coaster by hiring the track, but it slows down the train, or make corners bigger. Or in the opposite way, if you have a slower train, reduce the height or make the corners shorter. And with that, I'm gonna say goodbye here. I hope you learned something. Let me know down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Enjoy your building.